I always knew something was different. From the young age of 3, I was running up and down this patio when all of a sudden a realization hit my mind like I had just dropped ecstasy. And it was, I'm Charlie, I'm 3 years old. That's the point in which I started to live my life with self-awareness. Mostly, growing, I faced nothing but conflict. Conflicting with the environment and people around me, including my parents and my relatives. Many parts of myself didn't align or resonate with what was happening. You could say I'm a black sheep of the family. The reason I'm sharing this story is what we're doing on this channel, what we're doing specifically, is learning to share our story a little bit more. And mine, if I was to give it a subheading, would be, When You Know. And the main title, I guess, to give it more context, would be what it's like growing up being told what to do. That's what it felt like to me. Everything was about having to do something, having to be somewhere, having to go through this process, having to show up. Quite honestly, the majority of my life, I'd say, it's hard to say exactly when. A lot changed when I was 24. I started introducing cannabis into my life. And it did start to give me a different perspective on things. And before that, everything just felt very painful. Even good times were very short-lived because I could never do it repeatedly. I was always having difficulty being around friend groups at the time that were doing the same thing over and over again. A lot of my teenage years, I would find myself going out for long runs. I stayed fit, I stayed active. I just had music in my ears. I would stay focused. I would do something with my energy that I knew was better than what was being presented to me. I'm saying this because of where I'm at now, being 32 years on earth. I find myself really recognizing and realizing the purpose and meaning of why I'm here and what I'm here to do. And I was actually asked this yesterday in response to me asking someone. It's actually quite a common question. I'm often in a situation where I utilize time. When a one-on-one happens, I utilize time to cultivate conversation that most people don't tap into. What your purpose is. So what is your purpose? What are you doing here on earth, do you think? It's a big question. I'm slowly realizing more and more of what that is for me. I would say my purpose and the meaning I have in my life is to create change. I'm here to create change. I'm here to stir things up. I'm here, for lack of better terms, to awaken many lost souls that are aware of this, but they don't live it. I'm in a situation now where I recognize a big part of my work is getting people in touch with their purpose and meaning. My purpose and meaning is helping other people realize those. My purpose and meaning is helping people get in alignment with their passion and what fires them up. My purpose and meaning is to reconnect people back to their heart and their center, because that will be a true guide for you. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm here to help raise awareness of situations you can decide to absorb if you wish. The awareness I am bringing to your attention is your heart is your guiding compass for life. That's not just some line that sounds poetic. It's practical. It's a real thing. If you operate and live your life through your mind, it's a vastly different reality than living through your heart. The question is, how do you know the difference? I can't tell you exactly the difference, because you need an experience to learn what that is. You need to put yourself through the experience. Hence why I talk about wisdom all the time being something you have to earn through the experience. I just knew growing up, as I was going through experiences, I've got to change this. I'm going to make such a big change. I'm going to have money, I'm going to have wealth, I'm going to have freedom. I knew, quite often as I was being laughed at, there's a memory in my mind of me being quite open and sharing this with a group of my friends in science class. And I was like, I don't know what it is, and how I was articulating at times. I don't know what it's going to be, but I promise you now, I will be famous. Now, I have no interest these days in fame. I'm not really interested in fame. I think fame is somewhat irrelevant. I think fame is not necessarily important to me on purpose and mission, but what is the influence or influence of other people that resonate with the message, that can stumble across me and we are some way collaborating to help each other become more enlightened and aware of who we are. The topics that I tend to cover on other channels and other platforms, I go into more detail, but specifically here, because this is a YouTube video, this is what I want to touch on. I was broke. I was unhealthy. I was in a situation where I was having a lot of difficulty with my spirit and my mentality. Although I've always pushed through. Although on paper, when you look at me compared to most people, what I've done, I've always challenged myself, I've always done something new, I've always gone against the grain. If you're an individual that wants to change patterns, if you're an individual that always grows, you're going to deal with a lot of betrayal, a lot of backstabbing. You're going to deal with Judases, people that will change their tone with you because it no longer suits them. You're going to deal with real toxicity, which I dealt with all. I faced it all firsthand. Completely imbalanced. The karma I was putting out didn't justify how people were responding to me. This isn't me playing a victim. This is me actually sharing a deep insight of wisdom that came through my life. And it teaches you to find your people, find your audience. And the karma does come back to me. I don't think there was a karmic imbalance. Or the karma comes back to me because if I always do what I know within my heart to be right and true, if I always hold myself to a standard of what I wish to see in the world, then it will work itself out. This is something I said to my mum growing up forever. It will make sense in the end, mum. It will make sense in the end. And what I'm truly saying in that situation is truth will prevail. You will see. Just give me time. And this will start to make sense because I can't tell you. I can't convince you what I'm going to do. I can only show you. And we're showing that now. If you stumbled across this video and this is the first video that you're watching of me, or you stumbled across this channel, then you won't understand the story. But I come from a place of poverty. I was incredibly blessed. We didn't have tons of money, but always money troubles. Like the majority of people. Yeah, like I say, I'm not a victim of nothing. I'm unbelievably grateful for how everything's unfolded. We didn't have much money. We didn't have much awareness of health. We didn't have true, strong leadership. There was no real examples of people that I wanted to be in my family. There's no real examples of people in my upbringing that reflected any of my interests. I played football. I was fairly good at football until I wasn't good at football. And I realized football was never really in my heart. I kind of went along with it and it was good for a bit. And I was never really interested in football. So to the people that are also in this situation, this might be to younger men, this might be to females, your story is still unfolding. I've had 32 years on this earth and I feel like I'm only just starting now. Amongst some of the content I've created, Dolores Cannon popped up for me recently. And one of the things she talks about is this Earth School. We come down to Earth School and we make decisions to be here. We have contracts, for lack of a better term. One of the statements that she made that really stood out for me, she says you got to get through all the junk before you can start to live within your passion. Within your passion is your purpose. Within your purpose is meaning. Meaning is you fulfilling your spirit. That's a spiritual life. My phone rang. So as I was saying, that's how you live a spiritual life. That's how you find alignment of what you're here to do. I say this all the time. People want to talk about mental health. It's not necessarily mental health. People want to talk about things to the level that they understand it. It's so rare that people get to the bottom of it. Mental health is a result of something, which is a result of something else. You have to continue to go down and find out what's the source then. Where's the root? When you see people talk about mental health, they're really scratching the surface of what goes down deeper into spiritual health. People have mental problems. I think of Tyson Fury, heavyweight champion of the world, won the belts, did everything. It's often the case when people do everything they want to do, they fall into a depression. It's not random. What I would say is, when you set your mind on a target and you achieve that target, you go through so much work to get there and you achieve this target. Once that target's done, you don't have an anchor point anymore. You don't have purpose anymore because you achieve those things. And the way the world works is irrelevant to how our experience of it manifests itself. So in simple English, it doesn't fucking matter what you do, what you say, what happens. Everything moves so fast. Life is this ever-moving treadmill, moving quite fast. And people don't care because things move on. They might respect you. You might have legacy of respect, always respect you. But in the everyday movement of your life, through a week, through a day, in your proximity, what does your life look like? Because you're left by yourself. Tyson Fury is an example of that, who then went into a state of suicide and got himself back on track by getting back into boxing, finding purpose and meaning again, talking openly about being inspired by Deontay Wilder, talking shit about him online, gave him more purpose and drive to prove a point. So I guess the message, as I close up this video, is wherever you're at in your story, make sure that you understand your grounding point. You understand what the point is that you're here. If you feel lost, you haven't yet got meaning, you haven't yet found purpose. Somewhat of what I can share with you is look at the things that you love to do, that you would do for free, that you just have a passion towards, then start to decipher what could be meaningful and purposeful. When you lean towards those, you start to experience a life that's fulfilling. You have to be careful of that because it can feel fulfilling to do nothing but eat fast food all day and play Xbox. That can feel great. Oh, I love this. You need discernment. You need wisdom. You need other people around you to give you good, honest feedback. But it comes back to finding the point and the meaning of what you're here to do. And if you're struggling with that, you have to start to communicate. There's a link underneath where you can connect with us. You can also connect with me one-to-one. You can also start, if you're interested in learning how to make money online, learning to find your passion, learning skills, understanding what your purpose and your mission is on earth. Then you can collaborate with us at wisdomculture.biz. Look at where you're at in your story before 30. Get through all the junk. By the time you start to hit that 30 mark, if you haven't done that, there's a lot of work to do. Great to have purpose and meaning, but you've got a lot to go through before you can really start to fulfill your purpose and meaning. If you're past 30 and still feeling a little bit lost, then it's time. It was due yesterday. And I'm here to help you with that, as always.
I have a mailing list. Would you believe it? That mailing list is where I provide all exclusive, uncensored information, wisdom, tools, free resources, invitations. I realized what I have to offer often gets me pulled off social media. So the only way I can give you this direct source of wisdom, mailing list.